Now I was talking about elephant poop. What people don't realize about elephant poop is that 50% of what an elephant eats is not digested. It goes in one end, comes out the other end. Which is why in the wild, a lot of birds and animals eat it. And also, a lot of times when the seeds are not eaten, they will sprout. They will sprout. And you know, there was a line that I use sometimes when I have the poop in my hand, and I'll say to the kids, why have I got poop in my hand? And for some reason I found out that that's a laughing line. And they'll look at me with this funny look on their face. They say, I don't know. And I'll say, because baby elephants have to eat this. Now, when I say baby elephants have to eat this, I used to have them hold something in their hands. I don't anymore. Because the paper is made from elephant poop. And when they find out it's made from elephant poop, they'll yell and throw it down. So I no longer let them hold the paper to do that. Now, elephants, when they come into must, they can become 50 or 60 times stronger. You don't want to be around an elephant in must. I have seen pictures of 2 elephants that are in must, fighting each other. And to be honest, it's not good. It's not good at all. Now, those who are not in must will stay away from the ones in must. Now, when an elephant mates, oh, by the way, where on an elephant is the vagina? No.
Right over there.
No, between the hind legs. That's why the male part of an elephant, he has complete control of, because it has to go like this. It has to go like this. And a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people don't realize that, because the answer I usually get is what you said. Yeah. And I did not realize that. To be honest, I did not realize that. But if you can't see it from here, of course. Oh, by the way, that is, of course, let's be honest. How would a 150-pound to a 300-pound baby elephant come out under the tail, under the tail? It'd be impossible. And also, not only that, let's say that it could. That's a long way to drop down for a 175 to a 300-pound animal. So and by the way, you ought to see the amount of liquid that comes out when an elephant gives birth to a baby. It is unbelievable. When I was coming up here, I was telling some people this. Did you notice, I don't know if you noticed it or not, but elephants have very wrinkled skin. Why? It gives them an area for the heat to come out of the body. And when I was reading that, I started laughing. Because the thought that came to me was, is that why when we get older and we get wrinkled, we get colder? I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what came to my mind. And I'm still wondering about that one. Any questions about elephants?
Are the tusks that we see now, have they been broken off? Or?
Some of the tusks have been broken off, yes. In fact, we have one where the tusk is going like this, and they broke it off. And by the way, tusks. The real beautiful big males that had the big tusks have been killed. Which is why, believe it or not, I don't know if you know this or not, but there are some parts in South Africa where the females do not have any tusks. Now, they're not 100% sure exactly why this happened, but it may be that this has to do with the fact that these males that had the great big tusks somehow was passing on genes that made the females have tusks. No one really knows the answer to that yet, but that could be the answer. They don't know that. But yeah, and even there's been a few now where they have become the predominant female in the female family, but they don't have any tusks. So any questions about elephants? Oh, come on, no questions about elephants?
Harry knows it all.
Yeah, really.
Oh, she's a girl. Are these African or Asian elephants?
These are African elephants. Now, there's 3 ways, but really, I always say there's just two main ways of telling the African from the Asian. One, look at the ear. That is a big ear, very big ear. Asians have smaller ears. And by the way, Why do you think their ears are that big? And what cools off when they flap their ears?
Skin.
How?
Oh, and they're waving heat away from the body.
No, there's something else.
Blood.
Yes, if you look at, you can't see it here. Oh, yes, you can. Those lines, those are veins. So the blood from the body goes to the ears, cooled off, goes back into the body, and closes the body off. Now, the other part that you can always tell is, as you'll notice, where the back is, it goes down like this. The Asian goes up. The Asian goes up. Any other questions? Oh, yes, I did. In Africa, not only are elephants being killed because of their tusks, but they're also being killed because of population growth, like I said before. The Maasai, who I have a lot of respect for, but their population has grown. What is one of their main products? Cattle. So the cattle population has grown, which means there's no more conflicts now between cattle and lions, which are being killed, and also cattle and elephants, because the elephants will come where the cattle are to eat, and the Maasai don't like that. And so they actually were killing some elephants at that time. But there are scientists in Africa that are giving beehives to a lot of the people because elephants do not like beehives. And the reason is because of the wrinkled skin. Like when I said, they saw a mosquito biting an elephant. And it's the same thing with bees. And so the elephants do not like to be around bees. No questions?
I got one more.
Yes.
African and Asian elephants, which one lives the longest?
Oh, that's a good question. Elephants. Let me get this right in my head before I start. I got a blanket in my head. Why have I got a blanket in my head?
Oh no.
Why have I got a blanket in my head? I hate what I do.
I don't know the answer, so I can't help you.
Oh, yes. Of course, what's the matter with me? Now, elephant teeth are different than ours. Our teeth go up and down. Elephant teeth start at the back of the mouth and go forward. But they only have 5 pairs of teeth, 6 pairs of teeth, excuse me. And between 60 and 70 years old, they lose all their teeth. And if you do not have any teeth, what can't you do? Eat. And in the wild, if you cannot eat, what is going to happen? Yes. Now, I will say this. When I first started this, some years ago, I found out that I think it was 2 in India and 1 in Thailand, that were in their 80s. And it surprised me, because I couldn't figure out how can these elephants be in their 80s. Now, these are captive elephants. What they were doing is grinding up the food. They were grinding up the food. Because no, in the wild, elephants will die. Now, when I say 70, they might be 71 or 72, but they die because they were heavy. Good question. Thank you very much.
I have a question. I've heard elephants communicate via subsonic vibrations, and I was wondering if they've ever heard or felt that here.
I don't know about here, but you brought up something, which I love to talk about. I have the foot of an elephant. Now, the foot of the elephant is like this. I know people think it's like this, but it's actually like this. And right here, there's a fatty substance. And the chemical makeup of that fatty substance is almost the same as the fatty substance in a dolphin's head. Now, what do you think a dolphin uses that fatty substance in his head for? Yes, sonar. That's how they communicate in the water. They found out that elephants communicate in 2 ways. One, the normal way, which we call normal, through the air, and they can do that much as 3 miles apart. But they can make a sound that we cannot hear. And they can make that sound go through their feet and through the ground.
Oh, wow.
And they can communicate, by the way, many miles apart. Does that answer your question?
I didn't know if they put sensors or anything to...
But as far as here, I cannot
we
answer.
should. That's a good idea.
We
answer
haven't
that?
done it here, but one of our elephant keepers that had a person for the animal
Go for Johnny.
keepers, actually goes to Africa.
What you is located,
Yeah, right. So yeah, as far as what you were talking about, no. But I will say this too.
We're up at
A lot of times, when you're watching something on television or something like that, and you'll see elephants come, and you kind of wonder, because something was happening, where they came from. And it's because the one who's having the problems is sending the message through the ground. We don't hear it, but the elephants do. Okay.
We should have asked. They probably